This is the flip video for topic 1.2, the PPC. So what is the PPC? What does it stand for? Well, the PPC stands for the Production Possibilities Curve. And this is the first of many economic models or graphs that we are going to have in class. So the Production Possibilities Curve does exactly what it sounds. It shows the production possibilities of a nation. So why exactly do we care about the PPC? Why do we care about the production possibility of a nation? Well, it gives us an idea of what a nation's opportunity costs and opportunity gain is when they change the levels of production. So remember back to scarcity and what we talked about with our building a zoo activity. Opportunity cost is what we give up in a decision. So remember, every choice has an opportunity cost. It's what we give up. It's what we lose from that decision. And then the opportunity gain, this is what we benefit from a decision. So this is what's added to us because of a decision that we make. So our production possibilities curve is going to show us the costs and the gains of changing production. And it will also show our trade-offs that a nation faces when they only make two goods. So one thing that we assume when we're talking about the production possibilities curve is that a nation can only make two goods or two services, and that's it. Is that realistic? No. Most nations make more than two goods or two services, but for the simplified economic model, we're going to assume they can only make two. So we're going to start to see the trade-offs or what they have to give up in order to make one more of another product. It also starts to show us maximum quantities that they can make of each good together. So when we are looking at a production possibilities curve, we're going to assume three things. One of those things, like I said earlier, is that a nation only makes two goods. That thing that we're going to assume is that resources and technology are fixed. So that means our limited resources are fixed. Let's say we make t-shirts and socks. We have a limited fixed amount of cotton to put into our t-shirts and socks, and that's not going to change. We're also going to assume that our technology is fixed. So that means the sewing machines that we're using, they're not being upgraded, they're staying the same. And we are also going to assume that the nation is always 100% efficient. Now, does that sound realistic? No. I mean, are you 100% efficient? No. So some of these assumptions are a little odd. First, the only two goods that we're making, that's odd. Most nations make more than two goods. Being 100% efficient, that's a really lofty goal. And even the assumption that resources and technology are fixed is also kind of an odd thing to assume in the world. But this is, again, a simplified model of production. So why is it important? Why is our PPC model, PPC curve important for us? Well, first, it determines efficiency. So this is going to show us how to make our nation efficient with using those limited resources. Remember, we're still talking about scarcity, and scarcity happens because of those limited resources, and we have to use those limited resources wisely in order to make easier choices. So it's going to tell us about efficiency. It's going to tell us how to be more efficient. It's also a great visual that shows the opportunity costs and gains of the decisions that a nation is making. The PPC will also help us determine appropriate terms of trade with other nations. And it can also give us a potential look at economic growth. So it can tell us what our economic growth is going to be in the future. So here's our macroeconomic look at the production possibilities curve. You could also see it as a PPF, production possibility frontier. Frontier and curve mean the same thing. And there's three main points that we, from a macroeconomic perspective, really care about. The first is called the efficiency curve. So this is the efficiency curve right here. Points A, B, and C are all sitting right on the efficiency curve. So anything along this curve here is fully efficient. That means we are using our limited resources wisely. We are not wasting anything, and we're being 100% efficient. Anything on the inside of the efficiency curve is inefficient, and this usually means it's unemployment is happening. So this point X, unemployment is inefficient. It's inside the efficiency curve. And then point Y, way out here. Right now, this is unattainable, but this is what our potential for growth should look like. So why is Y unattainable? Well, if everything on the efficiency curve is 100% efficient, can we actually make anything at point Y? No. So those are the 3 points that we really care about on the production possibilities curve. So there's 2 different ways that we can draw the production possibilities curve. We can draw it to reflect a constant opportunity cost, meaning as we move up and down the efficiency curve, we're losing a constant amount. So if we look at transitioning from points A to B, from A to B, we are going to lose 25 guns here. And if we move from A to B, we're going to add 10 butters. Now, same thing, let's look at point C to D. If we go from C to D, we're losing 25 guns, but we're adding 10 butters. See how it was a constant cost? As we move from A to B, we lost 25 guns. As we move from C to D, we lost 25 guns. We can also look at the production possibilities curve as an increasing opportunity cost, meaning it is bowed out. So I would definitely have bowed out written down somewhere next to the increasing opportunity cost PPC. So the bowed out production possibilities curve, the increasing opportunity cost, is going to show an increasing cost as we move from point to point. So if we move from A to B, we are losing 1 phone. And if we go from B to C, how many phones are we losing? 4. So we went from 1 phone to 4 phones. So we've increased our costs by moving along the increasing opportunity cost PPC. Our production possibilities curve can also show us growth, give us an idea of what growth is going to look like. So to be able to reach that unattainable point, that growth point, we need to have an increase in our available resources, and we also need to have an improvement in technology. So those are the 2 ways that we can experience economic growth. So what does that look like on our production possibilities curve? Well, let's say we're starting at production possibilities point curve 1, and we want to show growth. Well, we just expand to the right. And that is economic growth on the production possibilities curve. Let's say we could make 4 of good B and 3 of good A at our original curve. Well, now we're growing, so now we can make 6 of B and 6 of A. So let's look at this PPC example here. So just a quick look, is this going to be a constant or an increasing opportunity cost PPC? It's going to be an increasing. And why is it an increasing cost? Well, because of the bowed out PPC. We have a real curve here. So if I wanted to go from point A to point B, what am I losing from going from point A to point B? Well, from point A, I'm going from 10 to 6 of B. Then I'm going from 1 to 3 of A. So what did I lose from moving from A to B? Well, I lost 4 of good B. So that's how you determine the opportunity cost off the PPC. Another way that we can read production possibilities curves is off of a table. So it's the same information, it's just in a table. So instead of an actual model, we're just reading it off of a table. So if we look at number 1, what is the opportunity cost of moving production from point B to C? Well, we're starting at B and going to C. So from B to C, we go from 3 to 5 and then 12 to 8. So which one shows a loss? The 12 to 8. So 12 minus 8 is 4. And what exactly did we lose? Well, we lost 4 consumer goods. So that is the opportunity cost of moving from B to C for consumer goods. Now let's look at the next question. Opportunity cost of moving production from D to C. So we're starting at D, and we're going to C. So we're going from 9 to 5 and 4 to 8. So which one shows a loss? 9 to 5. And how much is that? Is 4. And what exactly did we lose? Capital goods. So that's the opportunity cost of going from D to C is 4 capital goods. Now let's look at number 3. What's the opportunity gain of moving production from E to D? So we're starting at E and we're going to D, 12 to 9, and then 0 to 4. We're looking at the opportunity gain. So what did we benefit from moving from E to D? So 12 to 9 is a loss and 0 to 4 is a gain. So we gained 4. 4 of what? For consumer. And that is how you determine the opportunity costs and opportunity gains from a production possibilities curve. So a review of what we went over in this flip video. The production possibilities curve is an economic model that illustrates the opportunity costs and gains of changing production. So just like what we did on some practice there, we were looking at the costs and the gains of changing production levels. It shows us efficiency. It also can help us determine our potential economic growth. And we're only going to have economic growth if we have an increase in resources and improvements in technology. And then we also talked about our 3 main points of the production possibilities curve. Efficiency, which means we're on the efficiency curve. We're working 100%. We're not wasting any resources. We also identified inefficient, which is on the inside of the efficiency curve. And we also identified unattainable, which is on the outside of the efficiency curve and symbolizes room for growth.